Well, hello, friends. Welcome to the weekly recap from We Are Soccer. Congratulations, Liverpool. You are the 2024-2025 EPL champions. 11 points clear of Arsenal at this point. Not a lot of games to go. I believe 11 games officially for them. Yep, that's it. It's over. Wrap it up. Congratulations, as they took it to the current title holders today, 2-0 over Manchester City. Liverpool, I tell you what, they were phenomenal. They did what they needed to do, and as a friend of mine described it, a very professional display. We're going to get to that. We got a lot to talk about. That is on the docket. Manchester United claw back against powerhouse Everton to draw 2-2. Should there have been a penalty at the end? Ashley Young looks like he was hauled down. Not to be. Originally given as a penalty and then chalked off by VAR. Oh, and by the way, MLS kicked off. Messi was pissed off at the end of that game. Received a yellow card. Should he have gotten more than that? We'll talk about it. We've also got our MLS predictions. We're predicting in the room here who will be the champion, the Supporters' Shield, the Golden Cup, the Wooden Spoon, and the MVP. Oh, we've also got the Champions League brackets to talk about. Some interesting notes there. Oh, and the U.S. Women's National Team, congratulations. They are the She Believes Cup winners, 2-1 over Australia tonight. One young lady who trains here in Michigan with her good friend Erin in Next Level Training scored the goal, Michelle Cooper. We got a lot to get to, guys. The world of soccer is on fire. We're talking about it. Don't go anywhere.
What? And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
that's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
All right, so yes, the big game of the weekend was that Liverpool at Manchester City game at the Etihad. A lot of people had Liverpool winning 2 or 3-0 or just absolutely burying Man City because Man City haven't been able to get going in the last couple of months, as we've talked about. We are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the formations they set up in. There was some interesting maneuvers that Liverpool played. They played with a false 9, essentially, Szoboszlai high on the field, and that was to press the back line and to see if they could just really condense and squash the midfield of Man City, and they did a phenomenal job. Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does. He always finds a way to score. Mo Salah on the score sheet with that first goal. Gets a little lucky as it takes a deflection, heads over Ederson's head and into the back of the net. And then again, just a professional display by Liverpool. I think they had officially like 32% of the possession. They were more than willing to let Man City have possession. Have that possession. The players on the field for Man City who had the least amount of touches were Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. Did you even see them on the field making a difference today? That's because of Liverpool. Liverpool did that on purpose. They limited the amount of balls into the middle of the field. They pushed them outside. Doku, Savinho had the ball up, but overall really didn't produce much. Alisson not called into action often. Again, now you're 11 points clear, Liverpool. Liverpool fans, you've got to be absolutely loving it right now because the title's coming back to Anfield for sure. The big questions after the season, though, are going to be, what's going to happen with Virgil van Dijk? What's going to happen with Mo Salah? Mo Salah has set records galore this year. It's incredible what he's done. Just the amount of goals he scored. But not only that, the amount of assists he had. He had a goal and an assist today. He assisted on Szoboszlai's goal. Szoboszlai took that second goal really well through the defender's legs. I think it was Ake's legs and into the near post. I mean, just a beautiful goal. Salah is absolutely running rampant right now. Why hasn't he re-signed? What's going to happen there? I don't know. I want Liverpool's fans' thoughts. There was a rumor, the NBC folk today were talking about saying, you know what, we believe that there may be a negotiation, maybe a handshake that has taken place between Liverpool and Mo Salah, and he will be coming back. It's just not going to be formally announced until after the end of the season. I don't know. That's not quite how I would roll. As soon as I sign the guy up, I'm saying, we signed the guy up, and I'm telling the world about it. Want your thoughts on it, Liverpool fans. Let me know. All right, before we get too much further and deeper in, I do want to say a big thank you to our partners, a big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all of your soccer gear needs. Hit them up, and if you're in Metro Detroit, 3 Metro Detroit locations for you to get to. Next Level Training, thank you very much for being a partner for so long, for your part of us here at We Are Soccer. They are the best trainers around. Young lady Michelle Cooper scored in the She Believes Cup. She scored the winning goal over Australia tonight. Guess what? Guess where she trains? She trains with Aaron and the Next Level Training Group. She is a huge admirer of the Next Level Group. And if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for you and your kids. Sign them up at Next Level Training. Thank you to the Michigan Jags, MichiganJaguarsFC.com for more information on them. What an awesome club. All of my kids play for them. The Junior Jags all the way up to the U12. Got a lot of stuff going on at the Jags. They got lots and lots of teams and a lot of good things. Check them out, MichiganJaguarsFC.com. A big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. If you're injured, if you need to get back on the field, visit the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He'll get you healthy. He'll get you fit. Oh, and if you just need to do some baseline testing, get to him. He'll do that as well. Very, very cool stuff that he does on baseline testing. He just was with Lily Jekyll a couple of weeks back. Lily Jekyll is now with U.S. Women's U17 team. I tell you what, we've got some connections going on here with our sponsors and partners and some of the players. Are you kidding me? We Are Soccer is the place to be. We know everybody! And we talk about it. All right, Brooks, buddy, you have to be super happy right now because your league is back. The MLS is back on. It's the first week of MLS.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good.
Come on, man. Show me some excitement.
A lot of games yesterday. It was crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can tell there's still a lot of rust, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. Preseason only does so much, to be honest with you, and unfortunately, it's not a super extended long preseason like it is for the EPL squads when they get back and they're in their first weekend of matches. So, anyways, I don't know. No, it was good. It was good. There was a lot of goals in some matches. Some, not pretty. Some good.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
We're gonna dive in a little bit. We're gonna dive in a little further into MLS and the first weekend here a little bit later. We got a whole section we're gonna do on MLS, and then we're gonna show you the predictions. I'm really interested in Brooks's predictions for the MVP and who's gonna walk away the champion at the end of this year. We're gonna find out about that. Nate's put his predictions in. Danny's put his predictions in. I put my predictions in, but I picked them out of a hat because that's how the MLS works, in my opinion. Hi, Nate. How are you?
I'm here, ready to start the show.
Yeah.
You done the intro yet?
Yeah, we did the intro.
Are you going to talk about the Liverpool game and how Soboslai was pretty good?
Soboslai was really good.
Yeah, cool. Run that intro. Go.
Yeah. No, already did that. Good.
Huh?
We did that.
I knew that because I was on time.
Yeah, you were certainly on time.
I was on time.
Are you happy with the MLS kicking off? I know one of your favorite teams is FC Cincinnati.
Yeah,
they had a big win.
Yeah, going to be there in 2 weeks, too, to watch the game live because that's what I do as a coach.
Are you real? Oh, that's
I organize all my tournaments around MLS games.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
James Retton's like, why are you going to Cincinnati again this year? And I'm like, no reason.
It's a great tournament down there.
Great tournament. Parents love it. Parents are like, we hate it. I'm like, shut up.
Yep. No, you love it.
Actually, they do an awesome tournament down there.
They do.
One of the perks is out for the kids and the teams is playing competition you never get to see, like teams, from the Cincinnati, Kentucky area and all that, which you normally don't get to see. So it's not like we're playing the same teams.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, in Michigan, we have a lot of the same teams.
It's awkward. We do have a lot of the same teams.
Yeah, so it's cool because it's like, hey, 3 teams, never saw it before. And then the other cool part is if we're lucky on one of the 2 weekends that they do back-to-back tournaments there in that area, can catch an MLS game.
MLS, FC Cincinnati, and they won this weekend. They're looking good. You have picked them. I already saw you've picked them.
I picked them everything.
For everything.
For everything.
I think you actually picked FC Cincinnati to win the MVP award as well. I don't know.
I kind of did,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Kind of did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why not?
All right, we're going to get to that. We got a whole section coming up for MLS because it's kicked off. By the way, the old question about superstars, right, is can he do it on a cold night, a Tuesday night in Stoke? Well, we had that question for Messi kind of answered this week, guys. Concacaf Champions Cup, which is Concacaf's version of the
UEFA Champions League.
UEFA Champions League. Mm-hmm. Inter Miami and Messi got drawn against Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And they had to go to Kansas City. And it's freaking cold in Kansas City right now. I think it was like...
It was negative degrees.
It was negative.
Yes.
It was absolutely negative. Can Messi go to Kansas City on a Wednesday night and do it?
Tuesday night.
No, but it was a Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Oh, my bad.
game-
Sorry, they pushed it up because it was snowing the night before. Yeah.
It was a Wednesday night,
Yeah.
the game. And you know what? He did it. He scored a phenomenal goal. In the first 10 minutes, he was running his butt off. He was in the back line for a minute or two, getting the ball, pinging it around. And I was like, oh, my God, it must be freezing cold because he's actually running the entire time here to warm his body up. And Messi did what Messi does. He controlled the game. He disappeared for a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there, and then all of a sudden he pops up in the box, takes a ball down on his chest, turns, slots it with his right foot, weak foot. He doesn't score many goals with that foot. Through the defender's legs, off the back post, and into the net. 1-0 win for Inter Miami.
It was a good clip ball from Busquets.
It was a great ball in, which Messi took down his chest, turned, and really, really nice goal and well done. So can the GOAT do it on a Wednesday night in the freezing cold? Yes, he can. That is why he is the greatest player of all time and why I am picking him to get MVP again this year for the MLS. We'll get to that. All right, let's get back to it. Liverpool versus Manchester City. Liverpool said, you know what? You can have the ball. You can do what you want to do with it. But you're not going to come through the middle, Manchester City. We're going to force you on the outside. You're going to go ahead and use that Doku player. Use that other guy, Savinho over there. Yeah, use them. See what you can do. Clip the ball in, and guess what? Konate and Virgil van Dijk will clear the ball every single time. And it worked. It worked an absolute peach. The corner kick goal that Liverpool scored, really well-worked goal. Man on the near post comes towards the guy taking a corner kick. As the ball comes to him, he clips it one time into Mo Salah, who's running onto it around the penalty spot, and boom. Just really well-taken corner kick. Really nice set-piece goal there for them. And then, as you heard Nate call out, Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai was a workhorse today, playing high on the field, forcing Man City out wide. And they played to the false nine, essentially. Jota didn't get to see the field very much. Diaz ran his butt off, and I thought Salah obviously did what he does and ran his butt off. But what a really well-played game from Liverpool. A really professional display. Now, a couple of days prior, 4 days prior, they played at Villa Park against Aston Villa. 2-2 draw. A good point for my Villa. I think it was a good point for Liverpool as well because they were down 2-1 in the game and Villa could have won it at the end. To be fair, so could Liverpool. They could have won it. Núñez missed fairly wide open net, but Villa nicked the post at the end. Daniel Malin could have put it in the back of the net. Bad luck there, but 2-2, a very well-earned point for both teams in my opinion. Villa looked up for it with their new front line of Asensio, Rashford, and Watkins. They looked like they were really up for it and really took to Liverpool at times as well. So Liverpool fans, you've got to be happy. As I said, this is it. I think you're riding off into the sunset here. Even with a couple of losses here or there, you're still going to win the league. Arsenal dropped points against West Ham this weekend at home to West Ham and losing 1-0. That's not what great teams do. That is not EPL title right there. And to the credit of Mikel Arteta, to his credit, he did come out and say afterwards, I'm angry with my team. West Ham played well. They did what they needed to do. But we lost this game. He said, we, Arsenal, lost this game ourselves. We didn't show up. We didn't put in the right amount of work that is required to win the Premiership and win Premiership games. Credit where credit's due. He didn't come up with excuses. I did find it very funny, the West Ham fans, during one of the corner kicks that Declan Rice was taking. They said, you should have signed for a big club. And then they were chanting it to him as he was being subbed off as well. Pretty funny chant there. But yeah, you don't get to be EPL title even contenders when you're losing at home 1-0 to a very poor West Ham side. West Ham now being coached by Mr. Graham Potter. We were wondering earlier this year where he'd pop up, and there he is in West London at West Ham. So he has that team playing fairly well. Jared Bowen scoring the goal. Very nice there. He's got some work to do in the summer, though. It's going to be interesting to see what Graham Potter can do with West Ham. All right, now we're going to talk about my Villa, boys. My weekend was absolutely set when Villa beat Chelsea at Villa Park 2-1. Cole Palmer absolutely nullified in this game. Villa ran a scheme, I will say, a tactic, just to make sure that Cole Palmer, who plays exclusively on the right-hand side now, just didn't get the ball. He just never got the ball. And the one or two times he did get the ball, he just was very ineffective. Unai Emery ran a peach of a tactic to just nullify one of the best players in the Premiership. Man United fans, I hate to tell you this. Good news, bad news. Good news, your player, Marcus Rashford, looks like he's having fun. Yeah. Had 2 assists.
Great.
I mean...
Sign him. Sure, sign him.
I know.
No, sign him. Sign him.
I know.
Sign him. Don't talk to Chelsea about Jadon Sancho. Sign him.
I was going to say, Sancho was on the other side.
No. Sign him.
Yeah.
Sign him.
If he keeps doing that,
do it.
He played a couple of really nice balls into the middle of the box. He is a little rusty. Rashford just seemed a little bit rusty in his last-second decision-making, whether to pass or shoot. A couple of times made the wrong decision, but I think with a little bit more playing time and more familiarity with the players around him, it'll happen.
Yep.
Marcus Asensio, 2 goals. Not the greatest goals, if we're being honest, but 2 goals. So very happy there. Villa in the back line, unfortunately, Tyrone Mings looks like he's gone down with another knee injury. That's kind of scary because now we're without some of our main defenders, so who knows what's going to happen there. I need Pau Torres to get healthy. He needs to come back. Bogart filled in, though, for Mings when he went down injured. I thought he was phenomenal. He made some really crucial tackles on Neto and Palmer in the end. I think Konsa should be coming back and should be all right, so hopefully we're going to be good there. Midfield, we're struggling to find spots for some players because we got so many midfielders and forwards now. This is a great problem for Unai Emery and the team to have. So, yeah, Villa 2-1 winners over Chelsea. Chelsea kind of sinking like a stone in the last month here. They have not picked up a lot of points. Villa are now 2 points out of 5th, 3 points out of 4th. The battle is on. We'll put that table up in a minute.
I think it's because Brighton beat them twice in a row.
Brighton may have been the ones who just...
I think they just need to, reach into their depth.
The depth, go into, the 50th
Yeah, the 100th player mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they got some.
Good to go.
Moniz, assemble.
Yeah, I mean, you know who did play, though, Nate? He played a majority of the game. Nkunku.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He played. Not quite the player that I was hoping to see, if that makes sense. He used to be so exciting, and it's just kind of tamed out of him a little bit now. I was worried when he showed up on the field, and I said, oh, boy, this guy can do it.
He's a player that might need to go somewhere else.
Agreed.
I think his time would have been good there had there been some consistency and maybe
he was also
direction.
Injured.
Well, yeah, but not even that. Then, it's injuries combined with a merry-go-round of coaches, and you were never really the first choice anyways going in. You were always going to have to, carve out your time. And so I don't think it's the best spot for him. I mean, statistically, he didn't do bad. He didn't have, any missed passes. Got them all. He created 2 chances.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't think It's not that the Premier League isn't good enough for him. I just I don't think I think his time at Chelsea is done. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I think he should go elsewhere. I know he pooped all over Insensio's goals. However, that's like his first start, second start?
Second start, yes.
Banging in a brace on a second start isn't too bad, man.
Yeah, no. Listen, the first goal was set up by Rashford knocking the ball back across, and it was behind him, and he just reached and luckily.
So he made something out of nothing for Rashford. That's not good for him.
No, it was Rashford who made something out of a crossed ball. But Asensio did really well to get to it. Don't get me wrong. And then
he made Rashford's average pass look phenomenal.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
I think you should sign Rashford. I think you should actually sign him for $50 million.
50 million.
55 million or something.
Well,
something really good.
It's already a set fee of 40, so
60.
it's not going to change.
You want more? I mean, just bonuses and stuff. Just go for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm good with the 40. I'll pay 40 for him now.
Remember when Sancho was doing really well for Chelsea?
Yeah, for the first couple of games.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah. Don't pay attention.
And then he doesn't do anything anymore.
No, it's totally different scenario. That's exactly the same, but totally different.
Yeah. So someone did say that in the minutes that Rashford has played this year for United, he had like a total of 3 tackles in like all the minutes he played, and in the 60 minutes he played for Villa in this press game, he had 3 tackles. So
there you go.
Listen again.
Sign him.
It's a good relationship for everybody at the moment, right?
Sure,
he wasn't working out at United. Villa needed a left winger, so
I think it's a great relationship for you to sign him for $40 million. That will go straight right into our bottom line.
Yeah.
That we could go get a real player. I mean, find a player.
I'll find a player. Yes.
Just a player.
Sure.
A player.
One that can average more than 3 tackles in 30 games.
Yes. All right. What we're going to do is I do want to pull up the table real quick, and I want to show you. Listen, we talked about it already. Liverpool's running away with it. 11 points right now ahead.
It's pretty much done with them, right?
Yeah, they're done. But go ahead and take a look. Go ahead and take a look from 4th spot, Manchester City, 44 points, all the way down to let's even go 10th. Let's Fulham. 5 points separates 10th from 4th.
Cool. I don't want to go below 10th. Can we just stop at 10?
I don't understand. Why don't? Okay, yeah. But this is where this is gonna get very interesting for these teams in the next couple of games. Newcastle, just stomped on Nottingham Forest today. We'll talk about that game in a couple of minutes. 7 goals, 4-3 winners. Newcastle.
You guys thought Newcastle was done.
I still think they are. We'll talk about that. But Manchester City, I think, are going to drop out. I think Newcastle drop out. Bournemouth are going to drop out. Chelsea are dropping like a stone. Villa rising. And I think they've got all the assets to really get into that 4th spot. Brighton, sorry, Brooks, but they're dropping. And Fulham, I don't see them really getting into that top 4.
They just won 2 games straight.
There's a chance. But look who's ahead of them. Look who's ahead of them. Do you think in the final run-in, the final 12 games of the season, Fulham's going to be able to beat out Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle, and Man City? I don't think so. I just don't see it happen.
I was talking about Brighton.
Oh, Brighton? You think Brighton?
No, I was talking about Brighton's on an upside now.
I think.
Why can't they jump you and Chelsea?
I'll put money on it. If you want to make a bet, I think the Villa and Chelsea and Newcastle finish higher than Brighton.
Maybe we'll sniff closer to Bournemouth at 6th position, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. There's momentum right now. There's momentum, Craig. When there's momentum, it's always a positive.
So Villa, they just played 2 teams in the top 5 and got 3 points out of it. 4 points. Played Liverpool with a draw, right? And then just beat Chelsea.
Tottenham's got momentum. Can we play that game too?
Can you play that game?
They got more momentum than Brighton.
Tottenham have a little momentum,
They got more momentum.
That's
than
true.
Brighton.
They have 3
They're
in a row.
a little far back. They played really well. They put a nice win together.
Everton's got momentum.
Everton they're playing very well right now.
They're
we're going to talk about them versus
3 wins and
Manchester
2
United.
draws.
Yeah.
They got momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they be that team?
They could, but I don't think they're getting into 4th.
I don't know. They're playing Brentford. That could be a win. Wolves, that could be a win. West Ham, that could be a win. Liverpool, probably a loss.
Yep.
Arsenal,
Probably lost.
who knows?
Who knows?
All right, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. We got Bournemouth next, Craig, on the 25th of February or Brighton, so we'll see what happens here.
I think a lot will be based on that game, how you do against Bournemouth, who are just above you.
Oh, you do.
Then we got Fulham on March 8th, and then we got a tough one with Man City on the 15th. Then we play April 1st, man. We play your Aston Villa.
That's a 6-pointer right there, my friend.
Yeah, no.
That would be at your place, I believe, as well. That's down at Brighton.
Yes.
At the Amex.
Amex, yeah.
Amex Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one for sure. Listen, there's a lot of 6-pointers in there with Villa playing Brighton, Brighton playing Bournemouth. There's a lot of this is where it's. I think number 1 and number 2, that's set. I think 20, 19, and 18, I think those are set. That's gone. We know who's getting relegated. We know who's winning. We know who finishes second. The real bulk of this excitement of the season now comes down to who finishes in that 4th spot. And to be honest, I think actually Nottingham Forest will drop. I wasn't super impressed today with their defensive display against Newcastle, so I think they're going to drop. So it could be who finishes in that 3rd and 4th spot. And I think it's a Chelsea and a Villa who could get in there, and maybe City, they could sneak in as well. So
You know what I saw on social media, by the way, when you're talking about Liverpool and Man City? No coach has ever done the double against Pep in his first season.
really,
Yeah, Arnie Slot's the first ever coach
first one.
to do the double against Pep
Wow,
ever in his career.
ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes.
All right, question for you. So Arnie Slot's come into Liverpool and just they're running rampant. Best team in the world right now. I think we can hands down probably one of the best teams in the world, right? Top 2 anyway. He didn't make a lot of changes from last year. They didn't bring a lot of new players in. They didn't let a lot of players go. There's some changes going to be happening this summer, as we know. Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold's definitely off to Real Madrid.
Yes.
They're going to bring in some players, obviously, to replace them, and maybe some more players that he fits into his system.
I saw a rumor.
Where did they finish? How do they do next year? Because this is going to be tough to spot, and now he's going to change the team.
I mean, it all depends who they bring in. So I saw a rumor, which always gets tossed around anyways, is what's his Donny Van de, whatever his name is at which was he at Barcelona, the Dutch midfielder.
Yeah. Not
De Jong. Van de Beek? No.
No, I think it's De Jong who you're talking about.
No. Oh.
Or Danny Olmo?
No. Or maybe it's one of the Ajax guys. Isn't there a Van de Beek in the
Yes.
midfield? I think it's him. They have him
They're
rumored.
going to bring him in. So they're going to do a Man United and bring in all the Ajax players. And
No, I
Dutch players.
don't think so. But
I
like,
mean, we can hope. We can hope. That strategy has not worked out well, bringing in a bunch of Dutch players.
I don't know. That's just a rumor. But anyways,
Interesting. Yeah, well,
do they finish in the top 3 again? I don't know. I mean, that's just too far to predict right now.
It is way too far to predict, but it's going to be interesting because, again, he took over Klopp's team and just
I got a
put him on
different
steroids.
thought.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think Liverpool's the best team in the world by far at all. I think this is one of the worst Premier Leagues we've seen in a long time. Your top clubs are very much struggling. Very much struggling.
I want to clarify. You don't think Liverpool one of the top teams in the world right now?
No, I think if they play Barcelona, Real Madrid, or Atletico Madrid, all separated by 1 or 2 points in the Spanish Liga, they get their ass rocked.
Well, that could happen right now.
better
They're
than
playing in
Bayern?
the Champions
Are they
League.
better than Bayern? Actually, we'll see. It'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're the best. I strongly disagree. They're not winning the Champions League. I'm going to say that right now. I think this.
We're going to put up the Champions League graphic.
I think it's honestly a very poor Premier League season. I really do think so. Look at what happened to Manchester City.
They're definitely not the same team they've been in the last couple of years.
What road Real Madrid do them? Kind of dismantled them.
Railroaded them.
Yep. So
Mbappe with a hat trick in the last game there.
There you go. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. You know what I mean? And you'll see it in the Champions League, but I think it's a bang-on average Premier League. I'm not trying to take anything away from Arnie Slot, but I think it's being overhyped. I don't think it's because of, like you said, he hasn't done anything. What has he done? What improvements has he made? None.
He didn't do
have
anything.
to.
Yeah.
He didn't really have to. Why? Not because Liverpool were so dominant. They were the same team last year. I think it's because City took a shit. I think Chelsea's on the ropes because they can't figure things out.
Arsenal can't figure it out either because look
Arsenal,
what they've done. It's nothing.
Nope. Yeah, Arsenal can't figure it out. United has lost the farm. Villa is doing
Not as well as they were doing last year.
No.
I think
Newcastle can't find their way. Who else do we got? Tottenham is like a
Tottenham's way down there.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
No offense to Nottingham Forest, but Nottingham Forest is sitting up in the top 4 right now, and they're a upper mid average team at best squad.
I think you might be right.
Thank you.
I think also I think a lot of people honestly have transferred out of the Premier League. Like Gary Kane leaves to go to Bayern, and Jude Bellingham passes over the Premier League to go play at Real Madrid. Like, some players left the Premier League to go play in Serie A. Like, I think the distribution of talent, honestly, across the world is just a little different now, to be honest with you, a little as well.
Interesting take on that.
I think. Okay. Listen, I know you guys love the Premier League. You say best league in the world. I think it gets just overrated sometimes, in my opinion. Of everyone always wants to go there. I think guys are like, good players are like, listen, I want to go and win and play in a team where I'm going to play, and I'm not going to, be second fiddle to anyone.
Sure. I think we can all agree, though, a lot of the players want to go there because there's a lot more money involved.
There's a lot more money.
Oh, for sure.
And the most viewed
for
league
sure
in the world.
Unless you're
not
like
a league that even comes close to the amount of viewership it gets.
Correct. Unless you're at like, Inter Milan or or Real Madrid or Barcelona, where you're getting paid a lot of money. I mean, it's not close, you know.
Right.
But if you want to take a pay cut and you're going to play a lot and live somewhere nice, then there you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because Liverpool plays PSG.
Yes, sir.
PSG dismantled Brest.
I still don't think it's a good PSG team this year. I think they gotten a bit. I just don't think it's a good PSG team. I think they're a bit overrated, personally. But it's going to be a good matchup, for sure. Should we put up that table?
Sure.
Should we put up that table?
You think PSG is a bit overrated?
100%.
You think PSG?
Yeah.
With Dembele?
I think Dembele's playing. He's having a hell of a year. He scored like 11 goals in 12 games.
By the way, they just got the Georgianian that no one can pronounce his name, so I will.
Kivich-Filia.
No one can do that but you.
He's from Georgia, the country.
Did I not say that was the best transfer in all of the market for getting him for $70 million? Because that is a all-over player. Donnarumma. Yep. Donnarumma is one of the best goalies in the world.
Marquez, Hakimi.
Yep.
Mendez, Lucas Bardel.
Majority of these players have been there for a while.
João Naves. I mean, you got a stacked squad there.
They got a good squad.
You got a really good.
They're
squad.
finally able to put something together because it's been a couple of years where they haven't been able to put anything together, and they struggled in McDonald's League One.
I'm not saying PSG is going to win the Champions League. Understand what I'm saying? I think PSG is going to give Liverpool a hell of a battle.
Yeah. Well, let's put that up. Here's what we've got, boys. Here's your official Champions League.
Oh, we got to do the intro though. Go ahead now.
Well done. Very well done.
PSV's done well too. I watched them play.
PSV's done all right.
I watched them play Juventus.
They're
legit. They have.
Okay.
So they're going to get found out by Arsenal, trust me, because I think Juventus were very unlucky to not come through with the win there.
I know that Ryan Flamingo is pretty good.
What I'm going to ask you real quick is, Brooks, specifically you, what do you notice about this table? What is one thing that sticks out to you about this bracket?
I don't know, it reminds me of MLS.
No. No.
Wrong.
Well,
there's a couple of Bs playing each other, Benfica and Barcelona.
Okay. Yes. There's that.
Yeah. Oh, we got the Bayerns playing each other, Leverkusen and Moon.
That's a great matchup.
Yeah.
Absolutely great matchup.
Bullshit matchup, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
We got Team Chocolate versus your Villa.
Yes. Club Brugge.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm referring to.
How about all the German teams on one side, all the English teams on
Nailed
the other, and the majority of the Spanish teams all on one, too?
Spot on.
How about that?
Why couldn't we separate the English teams?
Yes, and the German teams, by the way.
And the German teams.
And I'm sorry, like Madrid. So the reason why I think it's a bullshit matchup, but playing Barcelona Leverkusen.
This was random draw, right? Random.
Yeah, sure. Everything random. Yeah. Anywho, playing these two first and second place German teams who could actually go far, that early, as well as Madrid and Atletico. I'm going to say that as well as a potential Liverpool Villa lineup. That's all too far early in this stage. Yeah. It's crappy.
Yeah. Why do you have to have all the English teams on one side?
I like
why
how
are all the German teams on one side? Come on, we couldn't have broken this up.
The two Dutch teams are in the opposite corners.
Yeah.
That's the funny part is of everyone else, it's the two Dutch
teams. They designed it intentionally not to have in hopes not to have an all English or all German final, which they've had in the past, both of those.
They want an all Dutch final.
And listen, I think we can I think
recent past too.
I think we can assume that in prior years, it comes out random, and the best teams usually go through and play in the final.
Sure.
This time it feels like they're trying to prevent that.
Yep.
They're trying to prevent that because Chelsea played against Manchester City several years ago, and you thought these are two of the best teams in the world. This is a good matchup. Now last year you had Real Madrid versus Dortmund, and Dortmund made it through, but they deserved it. Look what they did to get there. They deserved it. Real Madrid, best in the world, they won it. It feels like they are really. I mean, Nate, as you just called out, PSG, right? Paris are a phenomenal team, and in the round of 16, they got to play Liverpool. Liverpool, really? Liverpool, another top team? That doesn't seem fair at all.
There should be a rule that in the first stage of the knockout, which is where we're at, when we're down to this bracket, you should not be playing in the first game at least.
Anybody from your own league?
From your own league.
Yeah.
Because that's stupid. It's just, it's not, to me, it's not exciting.
Yeah, it's like what you say. It's the same thing you say like in Concacaf Champions Cup. It's stupid when two MLS teams match up against each other to knock each other out. I get it. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it's they're preventing two English teams or two German teams from meeting in the final, which...
Boy, they'd really like, I don't know, maybe a Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's they would love that, wouldn't they? It's
funny how
UEFA would be creaming in their pants if that
those two got on the opposite end of the bracket. Anyways, let's not be negative.
I think they want a Dutch or French final.
Oh God,
that's why they're on the opposite.
Yeah, they don't want Dutch and they don't want the French.
Let's be excited here. Let's look at some positives. What are two matches you guys can't wait to see, and what are two matches you could write home?
Can you put that bracket back?
Yeah, bracket's back up there.
Can't see it. You got to know off memory.
Yeah. So
and you can't say Villa. Not allowed.
Obviously,
Shut up.
obviously
No, that doesn't
Aston Villa, but the other game, as you called out, Paris versus Liverpool. I think those are two of the best teams in the world. And
you need one more because that one doesn't count.
And I would normally say Bayern versus Leverkusen, but we just watched that 2 weeks ago, and it was a terrible game.
They were holding back for this.
Yeah. Probably the other one I would say is Real Madrid versus Atleti. I think Atleti will come with a nice game plan and see if they can shut down Real Madrid. Real Madrid have just been on fire in the last couple of weeks, scoring goals left, right, and Mbappe seems to have found his scoring boots again. So, personally, I think those two games, Real Madrid, Atleti, and Paris.
Brooks, what about you?
Liverpool.
PSV Arsenal. I think PSV can knock them off. To be honest with you, that match, and then. That Feyenoord Inter match should be really interesting, too, between those two sides. So I like those matches.
All right, so you're all wrong.
What?
You want to go with Dortmund versus Lille?
No.
Benfica, Barcelona?
Actually, Dortmund-Lille I think is going to be an awesome game.
Okay.
Here's why.
Why?
Niko Kovic, and we'll get to that later, looks like he's now settling in Dortmund and figuring how to play with these guys because they just ran rapshot over a team. And it'll be really interesting to see. And then the other match I really want to see, but I can say it, you can't say it. I want to see Villa versus Club Brugge. I can say it, but you can't say it.
I can't say that? Why
not? I can't say it, but I can say it. So I want to see Villa versus Club Brugge.
All right, so I got
because I want to see Marcus Rashford not show up.
I get it. All right, we got a couple of comments. Mr. Brian Goldie says he thinks that Barcelona are going to be winning the Champions League, and he really wants to see Kvaratskhelia. He thinks he's the truth. I agree. Kvaratskhelia is an absolute phenomenal baller. He's going to do very well there.
I'll tell you what.
I don't think Barcelona find a way through. Although it's a pretty easy path to the final.
I'll tell you what.
For Barca.
They got one way and one man to make them to the final.
Who's it? Flick? Hansi Flick.
Flick ball.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, he knows how to win.
He knows how to win. He knows how to do these things.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot of other stuff to get to here, boys. But Champions League coming up in the knockout rounds. It's phenomenal. We've already talked a little bit about EPL. We know where that's going. We know the fun. It's the remainder of the season is going to be that third and the fourth spot that everybody's gunning for. We're going to talk about. The MLS kicking off, Brooks.
Yay!
It's your time, buddy. It's your time. MLS.
Can we put a time frame on this? Like
I was born for this.
your time is 5 minutes and 55 seconds.
Why?
Because
It's opening weekend.
Because that's why.
All right, Brooks, what I do want you to do is I want you to go through and tell us 2 or 3 of the games that stuck out to you, some results, and then we're going to put up the predictions that we all have, and then we're going to ask viewers to do some prediction stuff as well. So give me a couple of games. Which of the ones you liked? Which of the ones you didn't like? Who stuck out to you team-wise in the early games here? As games are still going on, because San Diego are still playing
That's
right
done.
now against LA.
That's
Finished?
done.
Was it 1-0?
2-0 San Diego.
2-0 San Diego. First game in MLS. First win in MLS. Congratulations, San Diego. All right, Brooks, give it to us, bud.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I watched a bunch of them. LAFC, Minnesota, that was kind of an up and down match. Jeremy Abobasi with the game winner there about a little after the 79th minute. The good goal to finish. And listen, LAFC, it's going to take a while. I'm surprised Giroud didn't start. Bobasi started as the 9 for him. Boanga looked really good as well. It's interesting. Throughout that whole entire match, the commentators were saying, LAFC with Bob Bradley, they were such a very possession-oriented team, and they've just switched it a lot since Trundle. They've been very, in the transition, like that's their game in the transition and get out and defend, and they don't want to keep the ball a lot, and they want to get out and go. And it was an up and down game for them in Minnesota. It was really interesting. So I think they'll be fine. For me, I think they'll do really well this year. Atlanta United starting off well. I mean, they had momentum going into in the last year, into the playoffs and whatnot, and a good way to start the year 3-2 with a 3-2 win over Montreal. FC Cincy with a good win over Red Bull, the squad that made it to the MLS Cup final last year.
Was it a 1-0 win? Was that Denke scoring the? Is that who scored?
I think so.
I think it was Denke who scored, and
Yeah.
Nate has him as the Golden Boot winner, I believe.
I'm off to a good start.
You are. We're gonna show the predictions that you have.
Anyways.
You are off to a good start.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'll finish up with it. So I dove into the Columbus-Chicago Fire match. I wanted to see how Berhalter did, in his first match, and Columbus had sold a lot of their attackers.
You are a big Greg Berhalter fan. I know.
Loves that bull.
Loves him.
Loves him.
Loves
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's I don't think his system's gonna work. He's not gonna be there for 3 years.
Oh no, you break it.
So I'm calling that
Oh,
he's gonna get
no.
fired in 2. So we're gonna, it was horrible. There was no upgrades in the back line. They were still letting in goals left and right. Their attacking looks better though. They actually get there, and that their wingers in center forward, Kuipers and
Look better, not great, but better.
a
than
lot
what
better
it
though.
was.
A lot more creative than last year. So they may score more goals, but I think they're gonna concede a lot. Credit to Columbus. Wilfred Nancy is one heck of a coach. I
he's
think
not.
he's the best coach in MLS. It's not even close.
No,
It's not even okay.
boop.
Shush. Anyways, just with
rivalries aside.
the lineup he ran out, and then he put 5 second team guys on the bench. Essentially with the mixture of whoever he had left for the first team, because they gave away all their top goal scorers and whatnot. I mean, it didn't look like they lost a step. I mean, and I'm not talking they were high caliber players that he was playing
Sure.
in that lineup.
Okay.
So, but with that money, they'll go out and acquire some attackers, and a nice 4-2 win for them, even though there were a lot of mistakes from Chicago. New York City getting a good win.
Draw.
A draw. Sorry, against Miami in Miami. That was a good one.
I would say in Miami, and that's the game where Messi was really unhappy. So Miami scores 5 minutes into the game, and then 23rd minute, man sent off. So Miami plays essentially, 70 minutes or 65 minutes.
Yep.
With 10 men.
Yep.
Messi was not happy in the game. He was yelling at the referee. Referee gave him a yellow card. Messi went back for another bite of it.
Yep.
He should have got another yellow card. And then, as he's walking away, it's the fourth official has a conversation with Messi. Messi puts his hand on the back of the fourth official. You can't do that. But because it's Lionel Messi, no one does anything. Listen, best player in the world, by far, no ifs, ands, or buts in my opinion, but you can't do that. The fourth official is still unofficial.
Yep.
Probably should have been carded. I'm going to guess secretly he'll be warned by the league.
Probably.
Yes, or not because it's Messi. But Messi visibly unhappy. A 2-2 draw for Inter Miami as they kick off the season.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Finish up here. Good result for Philly Union going down to Orlando. New coach. different squad. I mean, they brought in some different players. They have some of the academy guys that have come through the second team and through their system into the first team. I didn't expect this result, especially going down to Orlando and winning, because Orlando has a good side.
4-2 to the Union.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a result for a team that's got a new coach and pretty much an overhaul.
Yeah, it's an overhaul. It's an overhaul for that staff and that team.
Really good result.
Good result there. I watched the Houston FC Dallas game. Houston looking interesting, starting 4 college guys in the back line. If you want to count Andrew Tarbell, again, another college guy that went to Clemson. Good win for FC Dallas, though. A mistake that came to the second goal, playing out of the back for Houston. Obviously the rust is still going on here for all these MLS teams. San Jose, a good win to kick off the Bruce Arena era. 4-0, against Salt Lake, a very good result. That Seattle-Charlotte match was a good one. I watched that one late on Saturday night. Very good up and down match. Seattle's going to be interesting, and when Wilfred Zaha plays in that Charlotte team, I think they're going to be very dynamic and explosive. So
I think he's going to be really good this year.
Yeah,
really
these are 2 teams I would watch out that I think they will be very good this year. They'll be scoring goals and they'll be getting highlights throughout the
former Villa managers managing
Dean Smith,
down in Charlotte. Dean Smith.
Yeah.
What a manager he is. I think now that he's really got his feet under him for his second year here, I think he's going to make a real difference in the league.
Yeah, and I'd say credit to Seattle. They make slight changes a lot, but it's a lot of the same guys. It's the Roldan brothers, knew who's in the back line. Jackson Reagan, who went to University of Michigan, starting in the center of the 3 back there playing. Jordan Morris looking good. He had a goal. I think he had 1 or 2 goals in this match. I mean, he's looking good. This is a tough Seattle team that play very good soccer. So it'll be interesting.
Can you make an argument that Seattle's bang on average performance year after year could be a result of the fact that they don't overhaul like some of these other teams do? Like, you look at teams that really do well. Like, you just brought up Columbus, right?
Yeah.
Lost a bunch of players, but then brought in a bunch of fresh players, right? And doing pretty well. My team, FC Cincinnati, have done something similar. You know what I mean? We've lost a few players over the last few years.
Yeah.
Changed a bunch. We saw Brandon Vasquez got his first start for
Austin.
Yeah. He was looking pretty well. So it seems like the teams that kind of make those jumps or do a bit more decent are not the teams that hold on to a majority of their players.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Columbus will get attackers from all that money from selling Cucho, and then obviously again, so they still have some to go. But I think if you look similarities between Seattle and Columbus, were 2 very solid coaches that they know their identity. They're not trying anything fancy. And listen, they're 2 organizations. Columbus has shelled out some more money in the past few years. Seattle has, but they tend to like to play their young guys like Columbus will do, and the guys that come through the system. But I just credit to Brian Smetzer. They just know who they are as a team. He's good in the locker room. There's good camaraderie there. And I think that's why, even if they start slow sometimes, they find it in the end of the season, and they pick it up and find it. So, and then today's games, I watched that Portland-Vancouver game. Phil Neville has a lot to do with the back line there. It doesn't help that Kamal Miller got a red card in the first 12 minutes of the game for bringing down Brian White in the box.
Right.
It was just a crap show from there. Listen, I love the attacking pieces that Portland added. It's the back line that needs to be fixed. It was a 3-5-2. They played a 4-back last year. Crépeau had a couple turnovers, and he's a good keeper that has good distribution. So I don't know what's going on, but guys need to put it together in Portland. But credit to Vancouver. They weren't picked by a lot of the media to not make the playoffs this year, but they looked like a playoff team when they were playing. Brian White's people underestimate Brian White's capabilities of scoring goals. He is very dangerous. Gold is a very dangerous attacker. Jaden Nelson, who they got from Toronto FC, boy, can he run. And boy, did he burn some of the Portland Timbers defenders. So watch out for Vancouver. And then I caught a little of the San Diego LA Galaxy. LA Galaxy not at 100%. Still, Ricky Puig is still out after doing his MCL.
In the playoffs,
yeah, in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see. San Diego, good 2-0 win. But, yes, there'll be a lot of parity this year as usual.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's look at the predictions that we have here, boys. Here is our official predictions. I would love everybody to put the predictions into the comments as well. All right. MLS champions. Danny has Inter Miami, as do I. Inter Miami should be the winners, according to Danny and myself. Nate.
You guys are lame.
I know.
You got FC Cincinnati.
Which is a solid pick, Brooks. Tell them why.
It is. So
Thank you.
It is very so the acquisitions that FC Cincy's made honestly in the offseason have been good. The Evander pickup was a great one to replace Luciano Acosta.
Yeah.
Pat Noonan is a very solid coach. I mean, they will be dangerous this year.
Yeah.
They're going to be good. They're going to be good. But Brooks, you think Atlanta United are going to be the MLS champions?
There's just something in me that with the Almiron coming back and then them going to Middlesbrough and buying their striker and bringing them over, like they've got attackers in the front.
You pronounce that name wrong.
It's Middlesbrough.
Berg.
Anyway, so and Brad Guzan, the veteran as the goalkeeper, he was good at the end of last season. You continue that on. You have a solid goalkeeper and a good back line. It'll be interesting. There's something in Atlanta that they want to spark it again, and they want to get back to where they were in 2018-19, so I think they can do that.
All right, so it's interesting that you specifically earlier called out that Columbus are, again, going to be a very good team with Wilfred Nancy at the helm, and Nate has them as the Wooden Spoon winners. So just so everybody's aware, the Wooden Spoon is the team with the worst record and the least amount of points. So Nate, Columbus is the Wooden Spoon?
Yeah, obviously, because fuck them.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, wait, I broke it. I broke the streak.
Yeah, no swearing. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Little Timmy's upset now.
That's all right. All right.
I was doing so well.
So
I was on at least 2 shows.
Yeah, it was 3, I think.
It was
3 with no swearing. I have San Diego FC winning the Wooden Spoon, and of course they won today, playing very well against LA. But it is what it is. Yeah. Brooks, you've got Philadelphia Union winning.
I know, and they
the Wooden Spoon, and they won 4-2 down at Orlando. So
I'm still keeping with that. I mean,
long season.
It's a long season. Bradley Carnell, it did not end well in St. Louis City. Is he likable with the players? Because he's got a mixture of guys. You got to deal with the Sullivan brothers with Quinn and Cabin to play them. You're going to have to play him because he's the star. He's the stud. He's got other academy guys he's got to mix in. So, that's the question is if injuries happen and the young boys got to play, are they going to be the same? So
I don't know, but we'll keep tabs with our predictions as we go on through the summer here of MLS 2025. It's kicking off. The league has it feels like we just talked about the playoffs and it finishing, and now all of a sudden here it is again and it's kicking off. So another 8 months of MLS is here, and we'll see how our predictions stack up.
Yeah.
Well. You know what else was played this weekend? Some Bundesliga. And now it's time for some Bundesliga chat time with Mr. Nate.
It's the Bundes. It's the Bundesliga chat time. It's the Bundes. It's the Bundesliga chat time. It's the Bundesliga chat time with Craig and Brooks.
All right, let's do it.
I can't wait till one day I turn on ESPN and they're like, all right, now for the Bundesliga weekly recap, because they always do a weekly recap show, right? And they always got a standard song that they play. It's like a really cool song. And then I hear that.
You hear that?
I'm waiting to hear it. On ESPN, it's the Boone. I'm like, what the? I'll be like,
hey, that's me. I can copyright behind that.
Nah.
All right. Well, what happened in the Bundesliga this week, Nate?
Some teams played.
So what?
Huh?
What was played? What?
Teams.
Did they all have fun?
They all had fun, except for me.
Yeah. Except for you.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Everything's awful. Anyways, Gladbach versus Augsburg. We'll get right into it. 3-0 for Augsburg because, apparently Gladbach's goalkeeper just came out and just murdered a dude on the way out, and you can't do that. That's an instant red card. Whoopsie. Yeah, and that set them off. Gladbach kind of hung in there a little bit. Joe Scully playing a full 90. They were looking good the first half, but then it was like Augsburg went in the locker room and went, oh, hey, we got extra dudes.
Oh, yeah, we should play football.
Oh, let's fix this. And then they went on to win 3-0. Leverkusen versus Kiel. Leverkusen for the update of the week. They win it across all leagues, all across. So apparently they weren't able to capture a picture of the first goal with Patrick Schick, and they just literally drew a stick man.
Oh, I saw that.
Scoring at a goal.
Yes.
And they said,
this is how it was scored.
This is how it was scored.
Yeah, I saw that. I kind of laughed.
Man, circle. I almost posted it on the page.
Social media admin.
Their social media wins.
Awesome.
Yes. Also, they also won 0-2 against Holstein Kiel. And that was all they wrote for that. 2-0 Mainz versus St. Pauli. Both American starlets on those teams didn't play. Mainz 1-2-0 against St. Pauli, who's now, I guess, struggling on James Sands, held it together. 1-1. Wolfsburg versus Bochum was the score of that game. It was a bang-on average match. To Dortmund, the land of Renas. Apparently a phone call must have been made.
Uh-oh.
Guess who started?
Mommy Reyna made a phone call?
Guess who started? Gio Reyna.
Wow, how did he do?
Bang on average.
Yes.
Bang on average.
Well,
he didn't do anything great, didn't do anything bad. Like, it was just like he was out, he was there, he was a player on the field.
At least he was playing, I guess.
I mean, the highlights of the match was Shadow Gussler getting 4 goals in the game.
I was about to say Grissom had 4.
Pascal Gross pagged in like 3 or 4 assists and created 7 chances. So good on you. And Reyna saw the field, ran around for 60 minutes, and then got subbed. Didn't do anything bad, didn't do anything great. Completed 20 to 23 passes, but like just
average.
Just average.
Just moving the
But
ball
yeah,
along.
they thumped
Passenger.
Dortmund thumped Union Berlin, like beat them like a drum. And that's where I'm going, hey, maybe Niko Kovac, after a few weeks under charge, if kind of like figured things out and got them going, because Union's not doing that bad. They're 13th in the league. They're not the greatest, but not the worst. And that's only, Dortmund's really at 10, so they haven't been doing that great, and that's why they fired their coach and brought in Niko Kovac. So who knows? I mean, maybe they're up in the upswing there, So Leipzig versus Heidenheim was a 2-2 draw with Pascal Sesko getting a penalty, scoring that, and also the assist for those 2 goals. And I'm telling you, Sesko is a striker.
Oh, yeah.
To watch. Arsenal, if you need help.
Yep.
Munich, Frankfurt. What could have been the match of the day or the week. Number 1 playing number 3. Everyone's excited. This is going to be a tight, heartfelt match. And Munich kind of rolled out like a B squad to start with and beat the hell out of Frankfurt. 4-0.
Wow.
Dang,
they're
Frankfurt.
their shots 19, 12 on goal.
What?
4.0 XG.
Wow.
They had like they just dump trucked him. They had a 64% possession rating. The lineup saw Mueller playing striker for 64 minutes. Yeah.
And he played 64 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Musiala came off a little bit of injury, played 85. Olsey played 85 minutes as well. But yeah, like you had Dreyer out there playing center back, and they just took it to him. Frankfurt had 0 answers, 0 to do, and Munich looking really good. But it gets into weird time now for them because they're usually then projected so far out in the league. It's kind of tough balancing keeping that starting 11 fresh.
Yeah, and then Champions League coming up.
And that's usually where they then slack. So we'll see how it goes into that.
Right.
I think the Munich versus Leverkusen match is going to be actually pretty interesting.
I just hope it's better than the last time.
I think it's
2
going to
weeks
be.
ago. That was
because
a
I
boring
think
game.
Leverkusen has very little to play for. Munich has a lot to play for, and sometimes pressure can crack.
Yeah,
On to the last match, the derby match, Hoffenheim versus Stuttgart, which saw Stuttgart traveling to Hoffenheim, which is about a 45-minute jaunt on the Autobahn, or 10 if you're going Autobahn speed, depending on how you want to.
Interesting,
Yeah, it depends on how you want to drive that Autobahn. All was good. All was great.
Until
We scored first. The German Peter Cech, Voldemort, had his 3rd goal, I think, in 3 games, in the 9th minute. And then we decided to stop scoring after that. We just didn't want to do it. We were bored. We had an XG of 2.99. We had 7 shots on net, or 14 shots, 7 shots on net. Sorry, that came out wrong. Completely dominated, start to finish. And then Hoffenheim decided to score a goal in the 74th minute, and we tied. So awesome. Thanks for that, which saw our latest form of loss, win, loss, draw, sitting 7th in the table. Not very good for Stuttgart. Son of a
Yep. Now we're going to put up the table. There you go.
Hoffenheim
You
not
are
doing very well as well. Similar. So that was supposed to be our bounce game before we played Munich, who have been doing very well. So it's going to be a tough game come Friday where Munich travel to Stuttgart, I believe.
Okay.
We'll see how that rolls in for us.
All right. Well, there's the official table. You got Munich up top with 58 points. Bayer Leverkusen behind them on 50. Frankfurt third in with 42. Freiburg, Mainz, Leipzig, Stuttgart, Wolfsburg, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and then Borussia Dortmund rounding up the top 10. Down at the bottom, Holstein Kiel, Bochum. See you later. Although Bochum and Heidelheim are now tied on points, but the only thing separating them is goal difference.
So one of these teams will end up moving on, right?
Yep.
Or what I say, moving on, playing in the
Playoff.
What?
The playoff.
The playoff game.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So if you ask me, May 3rd they have to play each other.
Ooh, a 6-pointer.
Yep. If you ask me, the team that's going to do it, because they've somehow managed to do it every freaking time, it's going to be Bochum. I think Heidelheim's done. They're going to be out. It's going to be Bochum. So then it gets interesting because you got on League 2, Hamburg, Cologne, and Karlsruhe.
Oh, wow.
I hope they come up just so we can say their name every week.
Yeah, it's hard, but
When's the last time they've been in the Bundesliga?
it's been a minute. But
Okay.
they are a very historic club that actually have been in the Bundesliga.
All right.
Cologne, Hamburg. Also, the league's missing them because Hamburg is a very historic franchise.
Yes, they are.
And needs to be back in. Same with Cologne. They're 39, 41, and 42. It's going to be really interesting down the stretch here on which one of these three teams, and that's assuming that the teams sitting 38, 38, 38, and 36 don't move forward at all. So that table in League 2 is incredibly tight from 7th all the way up to 1st.
Yeah, it is. Holy smokes.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see which team has to go against Bochum because they tend to somehow turn it on and scrape the bottom of the barrel when it comes down to the ending stretch and hang on for dear life. I would hope, though, because of how many times they danced with death, that they finally hit the bottom and we get a new team in there.
Do they have good hamburgers at Hamburg?
They have great hamburgers.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's a fishing town. They're in north.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where's the name hamburger come from then?
It's not hamburger.
It says right here.
It's Hamburg, not
Hamburg.
hamburger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. Okay. That'll officially wrap us up for Bundesliga chat.
We should do a Brooks Knows Geography lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Before we disappear here, I want to
Mr.
say
Google spelled this wrong.
Google spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds right.
Are we doing Wheel of Randomness?
No, we're gonna skip that tonight. I got one
win-
other piece.
6 minutes on your MLS, not 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and no wheel now.
Yeah. I do have another piece that you'd be interested talking about here, but before we do that, I do want to say a big thank you to our partners again. Big thank you to Soccer World. Big thank you to Next Level Training. A big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars, and a big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Some interesting.
Do you want to ask me why I was late?
Yes.
Which I wasn't.
You weren't? No.
I was doing an NLT down in Sterling Heights.
Yeah, we heard actually.
Yeah, Renato
we
said
got
that.
the lowdown.
Yeah, Renato told me.
It was Renato's.
How do you know?
It's Renato's
Because
week
he
to
was
keep
down.
tabs on you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You had a
so-
low jack on me?
Yeah.
Nice.
Every week it's someone's turn to look after you, and
So,
this week was Renato.
Two interesting facts. First thing,
Two.
I'm standing there,
Yeah.
and I hear, "Hey, Nate!" And I'm looking around like, "Yes, Jesus, is it time? Is it time for me to come? You know, like, is it a grabber? We're going. I'm eating you. Hey, Grandpa, come to see you. You know." And then I heard it again, and realized no, it wasn't that. And then I looked over, and a buddy of mine who I played with like maybe bang on 15 years ago. Was coming in, and his kid was there for NLT.
Oh, nice.
He's a year younger than my daughter, and he had one of those fancy fold-out. You know the fancy fold-out benches. You have.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to sit next to him. We sat there and reminisced. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Other thing I noticed is just an observation. The kids on the east side play differently than the kids on the west side.
Good thing or bad thing?
I can't describe it.
Interesting.
It's just different. Yeah, you couldn't tell. Like, if you're like, what do you mean different? I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's just something about the way they play versus kid. Like, the kids at Sporting, the kids at Bern, Michigan Stars over that side, the Sterling Heights side, Nationals Oakland. It's just different from Wolves, Hawks.
One more blue collar over there.
I don't know. It's like I can't.
That's something we're gonna have to unpack.
I can't
It's
tell you
interesting.
what it is, but it's just
different.
You know what I mean? And
I want to watch. I want to watch and
I
unpack
was-
that myself. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, there's something different.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I belong to a WhatsApp group. It has a couple hundred people in it, Villa fans throughout the U.S. and England as well.
Oh, boy.
And someone was at a Villa game one of the members was at a Villa game yesterday, and he took a picture of we'll call it some teenagers who are watching the game. And he says, anybody know why these teenagers, all dressed alike, are watching the Villa game?
Was it the Crew kids?
It was the Crew 2 kids.
It was the Crew 2.
It was the Crew
Mr.
2 kids.
Nice.
Alex Gimple.
Alex Gimple was there, but unfortunately he wasn't in the picture because I believe he was up in the stands in different
Getting a
seats
beer.
with his dad, probably getting a beer. So, but it is really cool. So nobody knew what was going on, and I was like, oh hey, I actually know these. This is Crew 2 kids.
Yeah.
They're over in England.
It's their preseason.
It's the preseason. They're playing against Wolves, Huddersfield, and Villa, and
all
they're
U21 seeds.
and they're all doing that. So it was actually pretty cool. And then that reminded me in the We Are Soccer Facebook group, Alex's dad, Dave, put some pictures of him and Alex at the Villa game, at Villa Park, at the Chelsea game. And it's very cool to see players from here in Michigan making their way across to England in preseason, training with teams from here in America against English teams and visiting Villa Park and visiting all these other stadiums and just watching and loving soccer. I was just like, that is freaking cool, man. Kids living a dream.
You know, who also started or possibly started, we'll see what happens, his Crew 2 journey. Derek Dreyer's kid.
Yeah?
Yeah, he had a
Oh,
trial.
Declan? Yeah, he's got a trial with the academy.
He was
Yeah.
posting some pictures of that over the weekend as well. So,
Yeah. Congratulations.
another Michigan starlet. Hopefully,
There's a few. Keller.
I tell you what, there's a lot of kids from Michigan who are making waves and will be in the MLS or in some of the other leagues around the world in the coming years, man.
only
I've
we
always
had a-
said it.
we had a professional team here for them to springboard
Yeah,
through.
that'd be nice. That would be nice. All right, that's going to wrap us up for the week. Big thank you to all our partners and sponsors. Big thank you to everybody watching. Do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share. And if you're listening on an Apple podcast, give us 5 stars. It really does help us out. Thank you to everybody. Very much appreciate it. And until next week, cheers.
Cheers.